Have no fear. VFriends is here. Let's go live on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and X and YouTube. Good morning. Good morning, Alana. Good morning. What else we got there? Terraplay, Procreate Dreams, Gretchen. Good morning, everybody. This is the VFriends Comic Live Show. I am DJ, the creative director at VFriends. And against my better judgment, I'm going to draw comics for an hour here this morning. These are due, but I have a lot of other stuff I have to do. So I'll be here till about 9 today. I've been doing longer streams. I've been doing 2 hours, something like that. But this is the comic that we're working on today. We're going to get to some inks, some inking and coloring on this one as we go in this next hour or so. So good morning. I only have you for an hour today. We got a lot of stuff cooking. So appreciate you joining. Cheers, everybody. I'm gonna get into it. I got my coffee here, drinking a holiday blend from Presto George. Manifesting to collect my first ever VFriends card. Okay, which card are you looking for? This stream is not like our whatnot streams or our commercial streams. This is an actual creative jam, or I'm actually producing artwork here. And I've been working on this Sunday comic, so we do the Sunday comics too that come out in 72 newspapers across the country. We're growing the brand. We are doing so much stuff. Looks like a red Solo cup mug. Yeah, this is what mug am I using? I'm using it's funny question. Everyone wants to know like my coffee cups too. I'm in the chats on Instagram and I don't have the TikTok up. Let me do that real quick. Our TikTok's kind of a mess, to be honest. We got TikTok comics and we got TikTok, the old VFriends account, and then the new VFriends comics account doesn't have enough followers to go live. So yeah, we're gonna rebuild that. Don't worry about that. We're over 250 characters, over 280 characters actually. Let's go VFriends. Come on, where's my chat? There we go. There, the YouTube chat's up now, so I can see that as well. And my Instagram chat, TikTok chat. I'm going to show you what I'm doing here in a minute. It's a lot. There's a big operation here going on. Oh man, it's very technical. It could be pretty technical. And I should have my work chat open too, because we've got a lot of stuff going on. Okay. I'm going to get rid of some of these programs. All right, so yeah, what I'm doing here is I've got my Instagram chat over there. Good morning. See, I see your names. And then I've got TikTok chat floating here. I've got my OBS studio drawing board down here. And then way over there, I got everybody on YouTube. Tim over on X. Good morning, Franklin. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Alana. Yeah, I committed to doing this week, Monday through Friday, on the busiest week ever at VFriends. And I just lost my Apple. But no, here we go. Let's open up one mini to start the day. These are VFriends minis. Yeah, but I picked the wrong week to go live every morning. But it's only for an hour. And technically, I don't, our working... Oh, look, I got a diamond. Be the bigger person. Let's move this so that doesn't happen. I got a diamond, be the bigger person. I guess it's the rarest mini. Right? It's like a little fuzz on there. But it's this version of this guy. Be the bigger person. It's kind of like the idea of... even if you know you're right, you gotta let it go. Let it go. So, anyways. I'll check your chats. I'll look up occasionally, and I'll talk for the next hour or so. And while I'm drawing this comic, appreciate you. Well, VFriends cards, if you're looking to get them, they're fairly easy to get. You just go and buy them on a stream. If you can't afford them, I'm sure there's ways to get them from the community. If there's a specific one you're looking for, go for it. You can read, watch, and collect. What do I got this here? You can always read, watch, and collect at VeeFriends.com. All the information you need is over there. I'm just double checking my calendar because I'm making sure I don't have any surprise meetings. All right, great. Absolutely. Let's get into some inking and coloring, and it's going to be fantastic. I'm excited. I am excited. I've got a lot to do today that I can't show you, but boy, like I was saying, I picked the wrong week to attempt this. Suddenly, a whole bunch of stuff came rushing in. It's very urgent, but I got it. Luckily, I've got it. Now I'm the guy. So it's like, I'm the guy. I get to decide, like, oh, I got this. No one can stop me. Except the man himself. Gary. But Gary's like, TJ's got this. And I'm like, all right, I got this. Let's go. That's all I could say. There's a lot. We got a lot going on. You got to plan things way in advance. So we got a lot of stuff going on for New York Comic Con. We got a lot of comic book stuff cooking. Those that have watched my other streams have known that I've been like, it's frustrating that we don't have more comic books out. But that's going to be solved very soon. You're going to have so much comics in your face that you won't know what to do with. So I'm going to say save your dollars. Save a couple bucks. And you're going to have a lot of cool comic books coming real soon. We're doing an offsite next week. That's why I can't stream next week. I'll be with Gary at Gary's dad's house. We just like saying that. I think it is Gary's dad's house, but the whole comics team, plus Rips, plus May, plus Andy, all the VIP people in VFriends are going to be there. We document all that process. I think Justin, shout out to our camera. All the cool shots you see recently are Justin shot alive. He's great. Makes me look good. Although, I'm like, oof, I'm kind of fat. Need to lose some weight. I'm trying. I'm addicted to sugar, so that's not a great thing, but got to keep this brain, moving. Less sugar in the coffee is probably a good thing, and all that. So, is the screen super distorted for anyone else on X? I'd like to know that too, because it should look all right. Can anyone else on X see me? And now you might have to, go full view on X, because I am a split screen there. I'm not just the view in the center, because it's made for mobile. So let me know on X if you can see this right. Looks fine. Let me move this over here. I'd like to just show you a little bit of... I had some alpha on this, on the rack back there yesterday. I like this resilient hat. It's not a color that I'd normally get. I'm usually all black kind of guy, but I'm digging this resilient hat. And then, I'm the kind of person that I don't like to wear everything else that everybody else is wearing. So like suddenly all the fans have the hat drops, and I really like the creative hats, but everybody's wearing a creative hat, and I'm like, I don't like that. I'll go back to my skull cap if I have to, Anyways, back to Curious Crane tugging on this little tied up mushroom here. It's a trap. We got a lot going on. And disclaimer, sometimes I just do some daydreaming on these streams, these streams, sometimes I'll just have a stream of consciousness, so things that you might perceive as alpha or something like that could just be me dreaming, like I think about V-World a lot, I think about the characters a lot. Some things I say may be canon, some are not. We're just, that's part of the creation process, really, is sitting with these characters. I've gotten to know these characters quite a bit, which sounds really weird, I know, but when you're sitting with them and it's your full-time job, it's pretty good. Hey Lou, what's going on? Thanks, Daddy Dolphin. Okay, Arkansas AF. I like that. Yeah, X is kind of, buggy sometimes. We're live on Facebook. We're live on, if you should want to watch on another stream, I believe we are live on @VeeFriends on TikTok, Facebook, and X. Maybe not on the TikTok thing is a little weird. It's actually like VeeFriends 55 or something like that. I don't know. VeeFriends Comics on YouTube and Instagram. I'm trying to cover all the areas here, because if you're new to VeeFriends, again, welcome. We have over 200 and I'm just gonna say it, 280 characters that you can read, watch, and collect as we build this new Pokemon-esque, storytelling brand, let's say, because I don't even think Pokemon, no slam at Pokemon. I'm not going to throw shade at these other brands, because Pokemon's great, but, a lot of the brands are very corporate-y, and they tell stories just on the surface level, and one of our goals at VeeFriends is to tell deeper stories, go a little bit deeper than you normally would. There's always something under the surface of. You don't have to look underneath the surface. On the surface, you can just be hey, there's a gnome. There's a gnome. Knowing Gnome and Curious Crane are on a mission in this little comic strip here to take this thing to the Fairy King. And only one person guessed correctly, by the way, if you were watching yesterday. Only one person guessed correctly. So I think Tawny, if you're watching, shout outs to you. I will get back with you. Will these two characters be expected to be seen together in the comics moving forward? I think so. Ryan's a huge, he's the most massive. By the way, I still just smile when I think of Ryan Turner's cosplay for the Knowing Gnome. I'm hoping that you wear that to New York Comic Con. So, anyways, Birds Fly Free, what's going on? I haven't seen your name in a while. It's nice to see everybody. I only have an hour here today because I gotta go. Oh, I got some stuff to do. I should probably. No, this is due too. So this is always due on Wednesday. I just have to color it in, and we're good. Yeah, I think. Well, so Monday, back to Ryan asking about will these characters be in the comics. I think, there's things developing. The stories in the world are developing a good bit, and that comes out of what we're about to do again at the next Creative Summit next week, Monday through Wednesday, with Gary. Full time, we're living at his dad's house for a few days together, the whole comics team, and we're gonna really break out all of next year's. The goal is to have all of next year's comic plan done. And we're talking, a lot. I'm not gonna announce anything, but it's a lot of comics that will be coming out. Bigger, more pages. We've heard, less mini comics, more full size. We still will do some mini size, but there will be full issue comics, new rarities, new things like that, but also the stories and where the characters live and how they operate, the ensembles, Gary calls them ensembles. And I definitely have some ideas that we've chatted about the same characters from issue 2 which, there's Knowing Gnome and Curious Crane and Fearless Fairy. They wouldn't appear again. The idea is they probably wouldn't appear again in a VFriends title. The title VFriends, maybe not, because we have a lot of ground to cover with the VFriends title. This is confusing, I know. This sounds confusing. But the VFriends title, this title, issue 3, issue 4, issue 5, issue 6, issue 1,000,000, will always be kind of an origin story or a setup or an ensemble or a whatever. And that's where the characters make their first appearances, that kind of stuff, we're thinking. And then we'll break out and do, full series of trying to accidentally not say the names. So I could say there could be a Fearless Fairy title written and drawn by someone else that follows a plot path that we've all developed together. And I have one of those to pitch at the summit, or to at least get sign off and say okay, we've talked about this. Do we really want to do that? Do we really want to do this? And having all those creative minds together is just awesome, because you just never know what's going to come out of it. Someone might say something in the room that sparks something else, and that's kind of what happened with issue 5. That's why when you hear Gary really talking about issue 5, to be there in that moment. And I believe all that's recorded too, so maybe someday, we'll see it. But little things like that just feels magical when you're in that creative zone. Not many people get to experience that, where there's 10 people that it's in a writer's room. The closest we've heard about over time is we talked to the writers of Bluey. And so Bluey's so great because there's really a room full of writers, and they just talk about life and stuff. And a lot of research and facts, and that was one of the coolest memories. You'll see, I have a little write-up I did for issue 5. When issue 5 comes out, you'll see it in the back about the creation of that book and how little bits and pieces came together over the couple days that we were together. And Gary's brain works really interestingly. He's always researching things, and I see that. I know what he's doing. I'm I see what he's like, this little factoid and that little factoid and this little factoid. And then suddenly, when you're in brainstorming mode, all those little pieces start to fall together into a bigger story. It's wait, that thing we talked about yesterday, that was meant to be because this and this and this, and it all falls together, and it's really cool. What I'm working on right now is a comic strip for the newspapers. So we're in 72 newspapers every Sunday. It'll end up looking a little something like this when we're done. And the new Sunday style that we've been doing is more of a story style, narrative little journey that's going on. Now the wizard's on a journey to get his ingredients for fixing his staff. I don't want to call it a wand. I need your help. He's got this list. He needs 3 duck feathers. They flip for it. Call it in the air. Heads. And it's tails. You lose. As he's running away, the actual feathers come off that he needed. Because sometimes when you lose, you win. Kind of feeling there. You see. Yeah, this is a comic strip. I can't show you the comic books that we're working on because they're just too big. But I will be getting off this stream at 9 o'clock to work on multiple things for the comic books that need to be done today. A lot of stuff due today. So I'm going to dial in. I'm going to put in the dialed in hat. Put on the dialed in hat, and I like to bring back the thought balloon too. Thought balloons used to be really prevalent in comic books and comic strips, and then they stopped using it for some reason because of dumb editors. That's why. Editors didn't like thought balloons or understand them, and so they stopped using them. And some, like, also, you know, there's some pretentious writer. Here, I'm just calling everything pretentious. Writers, of course, and it's storytellers would say, like, you don't need a thought to really spell out what's going on in the character's motivation. You should be able to show that visually and all that. And that's cool. But wouldn't it be cool to kind of hear someone's thoughts? Like, what's Wolverine thinking? You know, as he's coming around that corner. Occasionally you do that. You don't have to overdo it. But it's funny here because he's like, can you be quietly curious? And then we go into Crane's head. Curious Crane. He's just always curious about everything. Like, what's that? What's this? Oh, what's this now? So when your kids, or if you have kids and they're like, Dad, what's this? Mom, oh, they're being just curious cranes. Curiosity is a superpower. See, I think I had a here. So I'm just gonna draw that in. Sometimes I don't like to use fonts. I like to just use the, Kate on our comics team. She said it best when I was mentioning that I like artists to do their own lettering, even if it's in the balloons and stuff, because, she said, oh, it makes the lettering part of the overall art. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. And letterists would love you for saying that. And but hand lettering is quite an art form. I don't do hand lettering, but this is kind of for like a quick sound effect or something like that. It's pretty good. We don't need to worry about the background there. All right, let's start doing some coloring on these characters now. First, I'll do the backgrounds. And this is a little bit of a process, but I'll show you my process. So I'm just going to go ahead and color in. I'm going to go quick with this one because it's due today. And there's not a whole lot going on here. We got some nature scenes, so I think I'm going to just color in the background blocks real quick. So I'm going to select every rectangle here. This is not very exciting to watch, this part. Which is sometimes I don't want to stream because I'm like, this is boring. No one wants to watch me draw rectangular, things. But you'll see in a minute, it's going to get exciting when I start coloring. Morning, Rob and Willem, what's going on? When you have to use fonts, what are they? They don't look like something that's a standard font, not Comic Sans. Oh yeah, I don't use... Comic Sans is like the devil for comic artists. I prefer Blambot fonts. Blambot. My friend Nate Picos. Shout out to Nate Picos. Blambot.com. So the font, my dialogue font for the past 15 years is called Spinner Rack. But there's all kinds of dialogue fonts that you can use. You can use a lot of different... Uh-oh. Come on now. Alright, let's just fill these in real quick. I think something happened with my... We're filling in the background blocks. Do that again for this last page here. And I always want to leave you with a cliffhanger every week. Like, who trapped them? I don't know. Like, can the gnome just climb out of there? That's funny. Maybe that's what he does. We'll do 2 layers of background colors because there should be... Uh-oh, I'm out of layers. Shh, I ran out of layers. Darn. Okay. We got this. And I'll just do a different, I'll just do like a blue. Because we got... These backgrounds are a little bit separate. But yeah, my comic fonts are Blambot fonts usually, usually. And I'd say got to be careful with font usage too. I mean, comic artists really don't think about it too much, but there's always commercial uses too, so we got to be careful with the brand. If we're using different fonts, it's just got to be careful. That's all. And we'll just do a quick. We'll get into some fun stuff here in a minute. Back to see what the sneaky gnome is carrying. Someone got it right yesterday when they emailed, but you won't know for a few weeks probably, because it's going to play out. It's the MacGuffin of the story. That's what we call the thing that you don't get to see for right now. For now, it's a MacGuffin in the story plot. So I've studied story a lot over, besides just drawing. Like, I'll even say I'm a pretty good artist. I'm a pretty good cartoonist. I'm not the best. I strive to be better every day, but I think I'm a pretty good storyteller. So I know how to spin a tale. There's an art to that, and having some sort of structure, but also being able to break it. Story structure and storytelling is fascinating to me, because it's also, when I got into marketing, I was first into comics, and then I was like, wait a minute, I'm just naturally pretty good at marketing campaigns and stuff like that because I'm a good storyteller. So I'm like, hey, comic art. I learned that a lot of comic artists would quit drawing in the comic industry because it was just nuts. You don't make much money in the comic industry, and they would move over to marketing. And I was like, oh, maybe that's a career that I should try. And then I did that for 12 years. So, because, as I've said in the stream, and I'm going to say it again and again and again, whoever tells the best story wins in life, in politics, in life, in the wild. That's that. That's all it is. That's my reset button for my 30-minute. Wow, 30 minutes went by already. Jeez Louise. Okay, let's start. Holy cow, guys. I'm going to isolate this layer. And they're in a forest here, so I want to pick, and also it's in the newspaper, so I'm going to pick a green that's a little bit, maybe more like this color. His dark cloak, I don't want it to contrast with the, maybe we should just focus on one panel so we can get it done. But I like to just, if I'm going fast here and I know it's going to be the same color, I'll just hit it in. We'll just zap it. Zap this part. That's not sky. That's not sky. Here's sky here. We can color in a little bit. I'll do different colors on that panel, and then we'll hit this regular sky here. Again. So we can really zap around, and then we want the dirt road is usually kind of like a goldish brown, like that. A little bit of digital painting, I'd say. And I'm not even gonna worry about getting outside the lines, or I'm not gonna worry about that right now. We're just gonna keep it loose and paint in there. Ooh, Alana's kid's sick. Oh boy, I've had sick kids before. That's not fun. I remember days where all my kids were sick, and then and I wasn't sick, but I had to clean up all this. Oh, it's gross. Good luck with that. Just patience, right? One kid at a time. Okay, so a little green there. We're gonna go some gray. right here. It's a little bit funner to do the characters for the next half hour. I'll try to get on some characters. I'll finish this by the end of the day and turn it in, and we'll be good to go. We'll be good to go. I'm gonna want to stay longer than an hour, but I really gotta move on some other stuff. Some prio stuff is happening. So we can just like, look at this, we can just kind of paint through there like that. Sometimes I don't want it to be perfect. When I would do my old school comic coloring, I would, really kind of, maybe I'm breaking the one rule that I used to have was not painting the grass green, but making it kind of like this color instead, like a blue or something like that. I have to keep the newspapers in mind because sometimes the newspapers are just really terrible, the muddy colors and stuff. But sometimes, the colors pop and I really want something vibrant on the page. Because the whole goal of being in the newspaper, besides people that already collect VeeFriends, would be that new people see it and go, what the heck is this? Right? Because I think we're probably, without being an ego or anything like that, I'm a connoisseur of comics, and my goal was like, I want to draw the coolest looking comic that's in the newspapers. I've never seen a comic like this outside of Calvin and Hobbes, which is the greatest, right? I can't even compare myself to that, but I'm like, you know what though? We got a cool looking comic in the newspapers, no doubt about it. Like, it's a pretty cool comic. Other people aren't putting this work in. They're like just slamming in some like gag jokes and stuff like that, There's not a whole lot of story comics in the newspapers, so there we go. While we're in the newspapers, I'm gonna do my best to get after it. Yep, coloring. I'll do some color. I'm just gonna hit these while I have this shadow brush here. Anything else where they're standing? Just adding like a little bit of that, add some depth, just a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, just a little bit of depth. All right, now here's the fun part. We can just go. If I was zooming around, I just turn on the old colors of the gnome. I won't do the special effects. That's kind of fun. That's maybe something I'd do on another stream. But we can go gnome hat, and then we can go set as a reference layer. Character colors. And now we should be able to zoom around this whole page and just at least get his base gnome hat for all the panels. So we're like coloring multiple panels at once, at least doing the flats. This is what we would call flats. And then, his eye color is very similar, so I think I'm just going to keep it simple and just keep it the same red. Oh, maybe not. If it's not closed. Weird. That's strange. Why is this not closed? Well, it's closed to me. There we go. Must have just been moving too fast. Slow down. Slow it down now. Let's take a little break. Just a little break. We'll do this. I can't believe it. All clear. One blue. That one's open. What's going on with that? All right. Blue versus pink in the chat for the next pencil topper that I'm going to open up. Blue versus pink in the chat. Blue versus pink in the chat. Good morning. Hello. Hello, VV. Good morning. Funko Addict, what's going on? What's up, Dad? That's not that bad. Pink versus blue in the chat. Put it in the chat. Blue, 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 pink, pink, blue. I'm gonna check my messages real quick because I'm getting stuff. Let's see. Yeah. All right, good. So nice to have a team. Like, we got a freaking team going, guys. Like, it's so cool. All right, what do we got? Sorry, blue, 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 pink, pink. All right, looks like it's gonna be blue. Good news, I'm gonna open them both, but you know, let's open this one up. Does my head go bigger when I do this? Look at that. Oh. Hi. There we go. So stupid. All right, we got an ambitious angel. Kind of a weird looking one. Without the color on it, you know. Does not beat the diamond be the bigger person. If you're interested in VFriends vending, these VFriends vending machines are available. Just Google yourself VFriends vending. I'm not going to show you. They're cool machines. I like them. I like them a lot. All right, let's just focus on one gnome at a time while we're doing this for the next 20 minutes or so until I get summoned. Anyways, it's really nice to have a team rocking and rolling on some stuff. There's some stuff that's like due by Friday. Like big stuff. We're talking some big stuff. And yeah. And I'm able to go, all right. And even like I was on a call and Gary's like, DJ's got this. Just give it. DJ's going to handle this. And I'm like, you're right. I do got this. But then I'm like, I know I got the guys to tap. So I got, you know, Mr. Chris Faison. Who's, you know, it's funny because like whenever I got hired, people were like, DJ, we need to find like one more of you, and I'm like, there's not many people like me. I don't know. It's nothing I'm not being egotistical when I say that. I'm just like, there's just not a lot of people that do everything that I did to get here. But I was like, but if I like reliable, fast, solid people. And if you look at Chris Faison, like he's kind of quiet. He's not a big social media presence, but he's a powerhouse. Look at all the manga stickers. Issue 1 was drawn. The interiors were drawn by Faison. Issue 3, all the manga stickers, everything you see that's the new glow up is all Mr. Faison. He's just a rock star. And then over on the graphic design side, we've got Mikey rocking out cool stuff. I can't say what, but cool stuff. You know, that's a little boring. Let's go with purple. Purple bandages. I don't want to, you know, brown's just kind of meh. Let's go with purple, like a light purple. Yeah, that's better. So now we can just hit some of these two. I'm lying. It's hard for me not to jump around when I have the color already selected. Let's just, you know, go as fast as we can without breaking things. Okay. Keith, good morning, my friend. Always beside me is the coin that Keith gave me. Always beside me here. Just so you know, Keith. Always right there. Appreciate a good coin. Well, you got too many coins now, but appreciate a good coin. I've got some white beard. We know white. That's easy enough. White. He's got some, he doesn't have brown shoes. He's got like really dark gray shoes. Did you let the cat out of the wrapper for what's in the gnome's bag? I did not. Somebody did guess correctly. Tawny, I believe. She guessed correctly, and I can't tell you. But if anybody else guesses correctly, maybe I'll hook you up too. But Tawny's definitely going to get something from me. You know? Alright, so then we just do a little bit of shadow. A little shading. You can take your basic cartoons like that and really add some depth just by learning a little bit of shadow. And you know, sometimes I will do like a highlight too. I'll do a mid 3 color tones. You know, you got your base color, you got your highlight color, and you got your shadow. I like that nice animated clean. And then I usually do like a light blue, but I think he's got kind of like a light tan for his shadow underneath his, you know, beard kind of thing happening. That's fun. Maybe just hit a couple beard lines there. Maybe a little shadow under the nose. There we go. Same thing with this purple package. Yeah, Tawny hit it. I was like, she's read the comics. She read the comic book. Plush Garden says, this is a perfect thing with a sick toddler. Thank the Lord. I'm so sorry that I have to leave in like at 9 o'clock. Let's see if I can just, I can't. I gotta leave at 9-ish. See, I'm leaving at 9-ish. And then it's 10. And I'm like, oh crap, I didn't get, you know, but this is due today. So I'm actually working. I'm working pretty fast right now. Working pretty fast. We're good. We're good. We're just going to fly around and do it how I normally do it. I'm not here to entertain you. It's also kind of boring just to watch one little thing being done, but this is the process. This is the process we'd call flatting in comic books or coloring. You put the flats in, and then away you go. I can even just screw it. Yeah, we were up late last night with Gary, working on some stuff, cooking. We'll be at the summit next week. Excited about that. Hopefully, maybe, you know, I don't know. We didn't go live last time from it, but we'll see what the vibe is. You know, we're building. All right, 350 watching across the channels. Good morning, everybody. This is the VFriends Comics stream. While I'm doing a Sunday Comics stream. If you're not familiar with VFriends, we are over. Let's just go over here. Over 280 characters on a mission to just tell cool stories, make the world a better place, make you feel better. You know, we've got the manga super sticker set out. We've got a lot of products, a lot of collectibles. Topps Chrome is a big hit. We're working on Topps Chrome 2 right now. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I told you that we're working on. VeeFriends Cartoons is out there. Great for kids, great for your kiddos that are sick or whatever. Got a dip later, Daddy Dolphin. We'll see you later, man. Take the quiz. What VFriends are you? And then you can explore the characters. They look a little like that. It seems like kind of all ages Sesame Street stuff. But if you go read comic books, you can read all the comics, which are leaning a lot more mature. There's a lot, you know, on the surface. It's like a young and friendly and fun. But there's definitely some deeper issues about family. Here we've got the Fearless Fairy origin story that you can read, featuring our gnome and crane. Knowing Gnome and Curious Crane are in this book. Also hiding out is the cat and Worm from the Dirt. He's hanging out there too. There you go. I think he's also hanging out there. First appearance of Worm from the Dirt in the issue 2. A lot of first appearances in issue 2 for collectors. Anyways, these books are hard to get, selling out every stream. This was issue 3. They come bagged with some rarities. I don't think anybody pulled Gary's drawing yet from these, so people are sleeping on it, you know. But they come like that. We're doing like a lot of different ones right now, so there will be a lot coming out soon. Yeah, good morning. I know a lot of people are on their way to work. I'm on my way to work technically, because, you know, technically my work day doesn't start till 9. But, you know, I'm usually rocking and rolling. I don't really keep time. Time keeps me. I think when you enjoy what you're doing, time can just fly by, right? But if you're in a miserable job, it could be like, whoa, staring at the clock. I've been there. The more you enjoy something, the faster the time goes, which kind of sucks. Why can't it be the opposite? Why can't it just be the time goes slow and you're enjoying it? All the good times pass so fast. See, there I am going. There I am going deep. It just happens when I'm drawing sometimes. But it's true. It feels like the good times go fast. You're like, dang. But getting to those good times takes forever. You're like looking forward to that moment that you're going to see each other or be together. You know, VCons or National. And then it's over, and then you're sad, and then you're like, man, I can't wait for the next time. And then it's there, and it's gone again. And just got to savor every single moment and memory that you have. And don't take it for granted that it even happened. Just be grateful. For sure. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm drawing on for Stacy asked, what am I drawing on? I'm drawing on an iPad Pro and Procreate in an app called Procreate. It's just my preferred way. There's no right or wrong way to draw. You just pick up a pencil and go. This is the fancier thing, I guess. This is not even the fancier thing. iPads are not the fanciest thing that you can draw on. There's like big Cintiq screens. I actually sold my Cintiq screen because I preferred the iPad so much. It was so portable. I could be like a nomad. Or I can go to the house in New Jersey. You know, I can go to Gary's dad's house with my iPad and, you know, cook up some ideas. You know. Are you going to Comic-Con? Yes, I am. And boy, oh boy. That's why I got to leave at 9 o'clock this morning. Because I got a lot to do. A lot to do for Comic-Con. We got some big Comic-Con. We're going to have so much cool stuff at Comic-Con. You have no idea. You have no idea. Get a second job. Start saving money. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of cool friggin' stuff, man. That's not hype. I don't hype. I am not a hype man. I'm going to tell it to you straight. Maybe some of the coolest stuff we've ever made. We're done. What's his scarf purple? Okay. You know. I'm very excited. Whoop. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, let's get over to... Actually, I forgot that part. We'll do one more layer if it allows me. All right, there we go. And I like an idea of like a pink. Oop. I'll turn those pencils off. Bump up that brush and then just hit that. Right like that. That might look a little too crazy in the newspaper, to be honest, so I'm going to lighten that up just a bit. What I like is to do then white and have him flying. See that? That's fun. It's just like, well, he's way ahead. Sometimes I get a little ahead of myself. Was there a spray paint noise with that brush? No, I think that was just the noise going across the I'm sorry, I'm surprised you hear that. I guess my microphone is down there. It's nice to hear, Keith. Your streams smooth my soul. That's great to hear. Because I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Happy birthday month. I think the older you get, the less you want to celebrate a month of your birthday. It's like, oh gosh, let's not think about it. Let's just not think about our mortality. Alright. Well, yeah, I'm going to take this blue down here and kind of go back to this layer, isolate that, and just kind of hit a little blue. Yeah, we're establishing a lot of little things that you don't know, that you might not know, especially if you're new. But one of the things that I've established in the books that's in there, that if you look, is that these little rocks, sometimes they're gold. Like, it's just like in V World, there are rocks that are just laying around that it's a common thing. It's like there's just a gold freaking rock. You know, it doesn't mean anything to the VFriends. Like, they're like, oh, it's just a rock. But over here in Greedland, you know, we're like, oh my god, like if we were like a human that went to V World, like if you think of it like Wizard of Oz or something like that, or Wonderland, and you went there and you're like, oh my gosh, look at all this gold just laying around. You might start filling your pockets up with gold. And then, you know, the old parable about like, be careful what you wish for, because, you know, and then you're sinking in the struggle stream trying to bring back all that gold back to the portal back home and all this stuff. And like, maybe the gold, maybe something, maybe it doesn't transfer. No matter how hard you work and try to bring the gold from V World into the physical world, it's like the Sisyphus, is that it? Like rolling the big boulder up the mountain and it just rolls back down again. You know what I'm saying? So, and at times, you know, I might be talking about things that could be stories in the future, or, you know, you're like, I heard that on the stream a while ago. I'm like, that's right, because it's hard for me not to, you know, allude to what could happen. You know, it's fun. It's brainstorming. It's the fun part. As Gary said, this is the fun part of making stuff. You know. Now I'll do another little trick, because I only got a couple more minutes left. But I like what's going on back there, like the pink. I know it's not going to be the greatest in the newspaper, but I don't really care, to be honest. Like, I just want to make something look cool. So I'm going to go back to that pink. I'm going to use my select tool. I'm going to do freehand. And I'm just going to go ahead and freehand in some, like, uh-oh, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to freehand in some, like, leaf lines. Nope. Just like this. just gonna go across the whole thing. That, close that one up. That, even like we can actually hit it like this too. Just some like extra grass in the background. You'll see what I'm gonna do here in a minute. It's a cool little effect that I like to do. So then we zoom way out, and I'll say I go to this guy and go to brightness and contrast, and I can either brighten that up now, which looks kind of cool bright, to be honest, or we can darken it up. So I don't know, for the newspaper, if going dark it gets a little muddy, so I might actually just brighten that up. I kind of like that. Now it looks like they're kind of in like a pink forest, you know? It's a cool effect. Little things like that make. And then now we got the swoosh in front of it. It's just kind of cool. That's fun. That's fun to do that. VFriends is looking pretty good actually right there. I like just the tight, and then those nodes won't be in the middle like that. They'll just be gone. These guys here will be gone. Let's get them out of there. You know. Put them somewhere where they're not in the way. You can even shrink them even more, doesn't matter. That's it, it's 9 o'clock, I gotta go. I appreciate you guys watching for an hour or so. I wish I could stay longer, but we're getting there. This one will be turned in, we'll show it maybe if I'm back tomorrow. This is a busy week. I picked a really silly week to do this, but I mean, like I said, if you don't commit to something, every day's never going to work out, right? So I'm like, all right, I'll get back to live stream, and I swear I've said that for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, months, and now I'm like, okay, I'm just going to lock myself in and commit to doing it this week. So I'll be back here tomorrow at 8 a.m. Maybe I'll go longer tomorrow, it depends, but back on these channels tomorrow 8 a.m. Appreciate you guys a lot. Let's open up this let's open up this guy real fast. Oh hey, we got a detailed dope dodo, which beats my rules are a detailed beats everything. So I hope you guys have a dope day. Dope dodo. The closest you'll ever be to a dope dodo mini. Sweet. Awesome. Great. This has been fun. I gotta go. We got some important stuff to do. VFriends are forever. I appreciate you guys watching. I will see you real soon. Do something nice for someone today. How about that? Do that.